You're in the gate. And they're off. Improbable You broke out very alertly, photogenic along the inside. Flamingo Star is rushing right into contention and up to take the lead. Specialty has now moved between rivals, and Definitely Probable takes fourth. Improbable You, the heavy favorite, is settled down in fifth, racing on the outside of Tiara, and it's 3 more lengths to Velvet Lily. Specialty, prompted by Flamingo Star onto the backstretch. 2 lengths clear of Photogenic, and Definitely Probable is just outside of her. They are followed a length and a half back by Tiara, who's down at the rail, right next to Improbable You, and 2 more to Velvet Lily. Half mile to run, Specialty the leader. Continued pressure from Flamingo Star, a neck away second, Photogenic, and Definitely Probable. Tiara's in fifth. Umberto Rispoli and Improbable You on the outside, 4.5 lengths off the pace, 4 clear of Velvet Lily. Approaching the quarter pole, it's Specialty and Flamingo Star. 3 lengths back to Photogenic in third. Improbable You is hard ridden on the outside, needs to do better than that. Fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. Just inside of her is Definitely Probable. They're at the top of the stretch, and now Improbable You is getting going on the outside of Flamingo Star. Flamingo Star, Improbable You to the front. Tiara is coming with a late run on the outside, Velvet Lily, and Tiara sprints through under a perfect ride from Kazushi Kimura to win it going away. Improbable You was second, Velvet Lily third, then Photogenic. They're in the gate. And they're off. Mischief Moments had a very awkward start. Bowtie Boys immediately seizes command, teeing off second through the opening furlong. Smiling Tizzy and Mischief Moment now rushing through along the fence. Then Spun Not Spurred, settled nicely toward the back of the field, and Do It for Dave trails. It's Bowtie Boys. The favorite will set the tempo, comfortably in front by a length and a half. Teeing off second. Mischief Moments on the fence in third with 6 furlongs to run. Then it's Smiling Tizzy, Spun Not Spurred, and 2 more to Do It for Dave. 5.5 furlongs left. Bowtie Boys to catch. A length to teeing off in second. 2 more Mischief Moments, a length and a half in front of Smiling Tizzy, Spun Not Spurred, 4 off the lead, and Do It for Dave at the back. Past the half-mile pole, Armando Ayuso and Bowtie Boys in command throughout. Asked to kick on now, leads it by a length and a half. Teeing off second, these two starting to separate from the rest of them. Spun Not Spurred is in between horses. Smiling Tizzy on the outside and Mischief Moments at the rail. 2 back to Do It for Dave. The top 2 are shaking loose. It's Bowtie Boys, teeing off, not done, coming back for more. 3 back, Spun Not Spurred gets underway there at the top of the stretch. And Bowtie Boys has a 2-length lead, teeing off, resolute, grinding at him on the outside, and a wide Spun Not Spurred, 16th pole, Bowtie Boys, and teeing off for Bowtie Boys, teeing off on the outside, gets the lead late, and teeing off, a Kimura double. He stayed all over teeing off, and teeing off responded with the W. Bowtie Boys was second, Spun Not Spurred finished with good interest third, Smiling Tizzy fourth. We're in the gate. And they're off. Miss Donna and Spring Line are the first 2 out. Darlin Duchess extreme outside. Mischievous Bev wasn't quick out of the gate and is now keen to get closer. Heavenly Belle, in the meantime, moves up inside of her, chasing numbers second to last, and Angel Baby at the back. It's the gray Miss Donna leading the way into the first turn, has it by a length and a little bit more. Spring Line is racing in between horses, And on the outside, it's Darlin Duchess now clearly into second. Heavenly Belle, Mischievous Bab right next to one another, two clear of the pair of Chasing Numbers and Angel Baby. Down the backstretch, and it is the favorite, Miss Donna, carving out the fractions, leading by half a length. Darlin Duchess second by 2. Springline getting a very nice trip in third. Then Heavenly Belle fourth with a half-mile left to travel, 4 lengths off the lead. Angel Baby, Chasing Numbers, and Mischievous Bab losing ground. They're into the far turn, and it's Miss Donna, the controlling speed throughout. Darlin Duchess, Springline creeping closer along the inside. Between rivals, Heavenly Belle is trying to make some headway, as is Angel Baby, who's caught 4 wide but on the move. Behind this group comes Chasing Numbers and Mischievous Beb there at the top of the stretch. And Miss Donna, the leader. There's room for Springline, who gets her first chance to run. Center of the course, Heavenly Belle is also closing well. And Angel Baby on the outside. Miss Donna, Springline. Miss Donna has something left. New fresh challenge from Heavenly Belle. Miss Donna Kimura wins the first 3, 2 of them for McCarthy. Springline second best. Heavenly Belle third, Angel Baby fourth. We're in the gate. And they're off. Liam Smith is sprinting out for the early lead. Sharon's Beach came away in second. Another 3 back to Sharon's Angels moving through at the rail. And Bay Cruiser is in between horses. Ghost Written fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. And no early speed from Midnight Ambush in his debut. They head past the half-mile pole, and it is Liam Smith leading the way. Has it by a length and a half. Sharon's Beach second. Bay Cruiser, Sharon's Angels is down at the rail. Here's Ghost Written moving up on the outside now to claim third with 3 furlongs to run. Still a long way to Midnight Ambush. 5/16 out, Liam Smith to catch. 2-length advantage, Sharon's Beach, Ghost Written in third, followed by Sharon's Angels, and Midnight Ambush is now getting interested, moving up on the outside, top of the lane, and it's Liam Smith with a 3-length lead. Sharon's Beach trying hard to close the gap late. 4 lengths back to Ghost Written, Midnight Ambush on the outside, 16th pole. Liam Smith, Sharon's Beach just keeps coming on the outside. It's going to get close. Here it is. Liam Smith holds off Sharon's Beach. Liam Smith, the winner. Sharon's Beach was second. Long way to Ghost Written and Midnight Ambush. We're in the gate. And they're off. Speedboat Beach rockets out of the gate. Gran Oriente on the outside. Son of a Birch is third and now moving up after the top pair, leaving St. Anthony by himself at the back of the field. So Speedboat Beach, with the most natural early speed, has it by a head, but Umberto Rispoli is going to have none of that. And Son of a Birch engages Speedboat Beach, but Speedboat Beach opens up once again, and now it's suddenly 2 lengths. Gran Oriente is in third, and St. Anthony. Speedboat Beach opens up. Now it's 3 lengths. Son of a Birch, Gran Oriente on the outside, and St. Anthony is 4 lengths off Speedboat Beach, who comes toward the quarter pole in control, drifts out a bit while maintaining the lead. Gran Oriente takes up the chase to challenge him at the 8th pole, and Gran Oriente means business. Speedboat Beach lead down to a head. Gran Oriente trying to get by him. Speedboat Beach fully extended, holding firm. Gran Oriente on the outside keeps coming at him. Gran Oriente, Speedboat Beach. Gran Oriente, Speedboat Beach. Gran Oriente outruns Speedboat Beach. Son of a Birch was third. And they're off. Very even beginning. Tammy Baby, cash in tonight up close. Twisted Humor faster than all now. And Go-Go Tiz is fourth on the far outside. Grape Juice 2, the first-time starter, hustled through on the fence to be within 4 lengths of the lead. Shady Stripes and Aguila Azul at the back of the field. It's Twisted Humor into the far turn, leading the way by 3 lengths. Tammy Baby is racing in the second spot. Down at the rail, it's Grape Juice 2 in third. Cash in tonight between horses. Go-Go Tiz outside of them. 5 back, Shady Stripe starting to pick it up while under urging, and Aguila Azul is at the back. Bondi 1-2 at the top of the stretch, and the other Bondi is coming wide. They're coming to the 8th pole. It's Twisted Humor on the inside, and Tammy Baby well clear. Shady Stripes on the outside moves into third, past the 16th pole. Twisted Humor or Tammy Baby. Tammy Baby, Twisted Humor. Tammy Baby gets the upper hand, and Tammy Baby wins. Twisted Humor second. Shady Stripes completes the Jeff Bondi trifecta. Go-Go Tiz was fourth. They're in the gate. And they're off. Slight bobble for Lino's Angel, recovers immediately as My Cat goes straight to the front. My Love Caroline on the outside, and Pasalubong moves through to take third. Lino's Angel is fourth. Libel Proof a close-up fifth, 3 lengths off the lead. Then Mimetic and Tapatia Mia. Half mile to go. My Cat and My Love Caroline are dueling. 1.5 lengths, Pasalubong in third. Then Lino's Angel. Pasalubong is trying to get off the rail. A little bit erratic there while trying to secure some clearance. Lino's Angel is fourth. Has 3.5 lengths to make up midway on the far turn. Libel Proof is next. Mimetic and Tapatia Mia. 1/4 mile to go. My Cat trying to fend off My Love Caroline. Lino's Angel and Libel Proof widest of all. Pasalubong is down at the rail. They're coming to the 8th pole. My Cat short lead with plenty of company. My Love Caroline, 1.5 lengths. Lino's Angel, Pasalubong. Now My Love Caroline takes a slender advantage. Opens up a length just like that. Pasalubong at the rail. It's My Love Caroline. A double for Jaramillo. Lino's Angel was second. My Cat in a photo with third with an oncoming Mimetic and Pasalubong. 6 Hot Rocket and 8 Suchet. 3, 6, 8 all out. There is super high 5 wagering offered. It won't be hard to. They're in the gate. And they're off. Lamas, Geometry, and now here's Captain Chuchi's intent on getting to the front, and the favorite is on top now. Geometry in second. Lamas third. Tariff is on the rail, and Living Life is far back in the opening 1/4 mile. So it's Captain Chuchi's and Edwin Maldonado leading the way. Has it by a little more than a length over Geometry. 4 lengths back to Tariff on the fence in third. Outside of Tariff, Lamas now moves into that third spot, and another 6 or 7 back to Living Life. So Captain Chuchi's in hand, despite the company of Geometry, right on the outside, a 1/2 length away second. Lamas clearly into third, under a nice hold too. And at the rail, it's Tariff, fourth with a 1/2 mile to travel. Another 6 or 7 to Living Life. Captain Chuchi's into the far turn. Leads it by a neck. Geometry, 2 more. Lamas is moving up very willingly and kindly. He's only a length off them, just cruising up to the top pair now. 4 lengths back. Tariff losing ground. Living Life outside of him. Captain Chuchi's On the outside, Lamas is coming after him. Captain Chuchis has something left, plenty left, in fact, with a furlong left to go, 2.5 length lead. Lamas trying his best. From far back, Living Life is starting to finish with interest, and Tariff has come alive. Captain Chuchis holding on, and it's Captain Chuchis. 2 for 2 after that long layoff. Tariff completes the exacta. Then it was between Geometry, Living Life, and Lamas faded late.
If you're watching this seminar on your computer or on your phone and you live in a state other than California or Florida, you're probably freezing your what, if that came out properly. It's cold, right? It's really cold. It's snow, it's ice, it's everything you can imagine. But here in California and in South Florida, it's a glorious day of racing at both venues. Hi, everybody. My name is Tom Quigley, VIP Player Concierge, and I can sympathize with those of you who live somewhere else other than California and Florida. I lived in Chicago for the first 20 years of my life, but I got smart and moved out to Southern California. Likewise, my seminar guest today, he grew up in the great state of Indiana. He moved out to Southern California as well. His name, Jeff Chapman. Chappie, happy Saturday. Welcome to the seminar.
Happy Saturday, and it's nice to be out in the warm weather.
You remember those days, right? Like scraping your windshield and the ice wouldn't come off, and starting your car every 4 hours, otherwise the oil would freeze.
Yeah, trying to scrape the windows, the ice wouldn't come off, and then freezing down the street, the car wouldn't start, and the windows wouldn't go down, the whole deal. And then I had a bunch of friends coming out for the Rose Bowl, and
Indiana was playing in the Rose Bowl.
Indiana was playing. They're out here in shorts and T-shirts, and they brought the rain, of course.
But we were cold. They were warm.
Freezing. Yeah.
50 degrees. We were freezing.
Absolutely. I got called soft more times in that weekend than I have in the last 5 years.
We are soft. Let's face it. We've been out here a long time. But I'll tell you what's not soft is the Pegasus World Cup field. Have you taken a look at it? Race 13, the final race on today's Gulfstream card, of course, $3 million purse. Here's the field right now. There are 2 scratches. Take out number 6, Madicate Road will not compete, as well as number 14, Catalytic. That still leaves us with a good field of 12. Jeff, I know you have an opinion on the race. So do I. Let me give you my opinion on the race, and it revolves around number 3, Full Serrano. One of the reasons why I like Full Serrano is this workout we're about to show, courtesy of our friends at firsttv.com. That's Full Serrano on the outside and his workmate on the inside. Apologies on the backside because it was early in the morning. We're not going to be able to see much of it, but the most important part of this work is later on in the work as they get closer to the finish line. The first thing we should be looking at as they're going down the backside, basically starting their work, is take a look at the final time for Full Serrano, 59 and change. And you're going to see as the horses enter the turn and enter the stretch in just a moment, that really Full Serrano is doing it without being asked. And I think really this was the work that convinced John Sadler to ship Full Serrano across the country. He's 12-1 on the morning line. I know a lot of sharp players who like Full Serrano. I don't think we're going to get that, but I think we might get half of that price at 6-1. He's one of only 2 Breeders' Cup winners in the field, the other one being White Barrow. I think we can also all agree White Barrow might be tailing off in his career, whereas Full Serrano relatively lightly raced. Also, as we continue to watch this work, Full Serrano's jockey today is Joel Rosario. Joel only rode Full Serrano once. It was in the Breeders' Cup Mile that he won at Del Mar 2 years ago. And here's the part of the work that I wanted you guys to pay attention to that are watching the seminar. You can see the exercise rider in Full Serrano is not asking this horse to move a muscle at all. Just disregard his workmate. He's running against the clock, so he's going to stop the clock. And now look at this extension. Not only has he gone fast for the first 5 furlongs, he's got plenty more left in the tank. Look at this horse continue to widen his position. And again, it really is impressive to me, the fact that he has this much run after a relatively quick work. John typically doesn't work his horses that fast. They're coming off an Eclipse Award with Super Corridor as well. So I think that he's well meant today, Chappie, in the Pegasus World Cup, only because that workout that we were able to see, courtesy of firsttv.com. Now, you like a different horse, and it's obviously a very talented horse as well. It's Chapman Street. We know that Chapman Street beat Sovereignty in the Florida Derby, the only horse to ever beat Sovereignty. And again, courtesy of our friends at firsttv.com, this workout was at Payson Park in South Florida. The time might not be as flashy, but unlike the work we just watched for Full Serrano, take a look at Chapman Street's workmate, the multiple graded stakes winner, Saudi Crown, also from the Brad Cox barn. And Chappie, as these horses come down the lane, again, a very impressive draw off by Chapman Street compared to Saudi Crown once they gallop out at the 7/8 pole.
Yeah, clearly facing a good horse, and obviously this horse is in hand, doing it very easily. The time doesn't matter as much as just how Chapman Street did it. Although I gotta say, I'm going full disclosure here. I did not catch the work of Full Serrano till you showed me that. So I don't want to call it audible, but I'm going to at least do an exacta box because I've always been a big fan of Full Serrano as well.
And John's on record that his last race on the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar again this past year was because of a foot issue. So I'm willing to draw a line through that. A lot of players are going to look at that running line and be turned off by him.
Yeah.
But based on that workout, it looks like he's back to 100%.
Yeah, I'm sold. So,
well, I'm sold on Tappan Street too, right? I mean, he's got that's a really good betting race.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, right, the Disco Time is the one to beat undefeated on the rail. But I think we might have locked into a couple price sources that have a big shot to upset the apple cart today. So we'll see.
And we're 16 minutes away from the mandatory pad on the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. That'll go at 11:41 a.m. Pacific time at Gulfstream Park. Expectations are that pool size will be close to $4 million. There's a lot of action today. We've got the Coast to Coast Pick 5. We've got the $1 Sunsets Pick 6 with a 2-day carryover of $41,000. We haven't even started to talk about the Santa Anita card. There's going to be a lot of action at the ATM for a lot of players today.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and obviously we kind of take center stage. I mean, it's like well below zero around the rest of the country.
A lot of places have canceled racing. Aqueduct, Laurel, Turfway.
Yeah.
So the pools are going to be big. As a matter of fact, the 50-cent early pick 5 pool that started at 8 a.m. Pacific time at Gulfstream Park earlier this morning handled in excess of $1 million.
Wow.
So people are firing very, very aggressively.
Yeah. And it would have been higher had I not been on the show because I would already fired into the pool. But that's okay. Sometimes you got to take one for the team. We work well together, so I'm happy to be here.
Lots of opportunities to fire away from now until about 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Jeff, the NFL playoffs are tomorrow. And I mentioned that because a lot of people involved in those playoff games, whether they're players, coaches, executives, they like to come to Santa Anita. They're not going to be able to come this weekend, but I think they like the thrill of the competition and the whole vibe that Santa Anita gives them, right? Because it's very much a social gathering. There's only a race every 30 minutes. They enjoy watching the race. They love betting the races, but they also like the competition out on the racetrack.
They do. We've seen so many of the athletes, whether it be baseball, coaches, players, hockey, football guys, like you said, they like that competition. And we've noticed some of these guys, even after they retire, getting into this now. And it's that rush, that thrill that they're missing.
Jason
and that kind
Worth would be one example.
Absolutely. Fills the void, and of course, my man, Alex Bregman, now a Cubby. And he's a big horse. I'm already dying to text him to see what he's going to do if I can name a horse there.
We have to look at their schedule. You might already know when are the Cubs coming out to LA to play the Dodgers. We have to get him to Santa Anita when they play.
We will, 100%. I have his phone number, so I haven't bugged him, but it's coming soon. I noticed this week he was at the Bears game, then he was at the Blackhawks game, so he's kind of making the rounds in Chicago. So not that I know him that well. I'm going to give him about till next week, and then I'm going to blow him up.
We're going to talk about horses in just a few minutes after Frank Miramonte gives us the scratches, but I'd be remiss in not asking you. You mentioned the Cubs, and of course the Dodgers are dominating the headlines. They're the team to beat, but will the Cubs be more competitive this upcoming season?
They will. They've been extremely cheap, and they've got some really good young pitching. They actually made a pretty good trade for a pitcher from the Marlins who's got a big upside. And I think with some of the starters, and Cade Horton was a rookie last year. I thought he'd get rookie of the year. He got hurt the second half of the year. Stud pitcher. So I think their staff is good, that they actually spent the money on Bregman. They haven't spent money since the 2016,
World Series.
Dismantled.
Yeah.
And it actually ended up turning to be the right thing. None of those guys, basically other than Schwarber, turned out to be much. Chris Bryant, who we thought would be a superstar, did nothing. So as much as we badmouthed them, they are a top tier team that spends like a bottom third team, but they open the pocketbooks a little bit. And I'll tell you one thing, I am not a Dodger fan. People get on them for spending the money, do what they do. I give them all the credit in the world.
They figured it out.
They have money, but you know what? They spend it. They got creative. They're the smartest organization in sports. They did all this deferred money, whether that, they might get locked out after this year. Some of that may change, but you got to use what you got in front of them. So more power to them.
And Chappie, mentioning the Cubs, it immediately comes to mind Wrigley Field. And, I see a lot of similarities between Wrigley Field and Santa Anita Park, right? They're almost like cathedrals. People love going to Wrigley Field because of the tradition. People love coming to Santa Anita because of the tradition. They remember coming with their grandparents or their parents.
Yep.
It's the same thing with Wrigley Field. It's almost like a mirror image of each other.
It is. It's amazing. And obviously, if you go there, it's just like you said, the same thing. Old school, not much change to it. They've added a few amenities and some things around, a bunch of restaurants around there now. So it's more like you can always walk anywhere. But inside the park, it's just it's you get chills every time you go, or I do, because I've been going there for years. But I went last year for the first time in a while. It was great.
We have chills just having Jeff Chapman as our seminar guest today. We're going to find out who he likes on today's 9-race Santa Anita program. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's Saturday's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast, the turf is firm, and the rail on the turf is out 20 feet today. As you can see on the graphic up there, there's a Sunset 6 carryover today of $41,859. It starts with Gulfstream's 11th, which is a little less than 2 hours away. The Sunset 6 covers the last 3 races from Gulfstream and the last 3 from Santa Anita Park. Here are today's early changes. No scratches in the first. In the second, scratch 2, Autism Unity, and 4, Matt's Advisor. 2 and 4 are out. No show wagering in the second. In race 3, just blinker notes. Race 4 starts our $2 pick 6 here. No changes. In the 5th, started the late pick 5 and all turf pick 3. No scratches. Race 6, scratch 3, Don't You Forget, and scratch 6, Seize the Image. 3 and 6 are out. Show wagering in race 6, started the late pick 4. Late pick 3 starts with the 7th. There are no changes. The 8th is the grade 3 La Cañada. Just the blinker note for the morning line favorite. And the 9th race, named in honor of Chuck Anderson. Super high 5 wagering is offered, and there are no program changes. It's Pegasus Day at Gulfstream, and the Coast to Coast Pick 5 will have 3 races from Gulfstream Park. You've seen the payoffs for the Coast to Coast Pick 5. They've been extraordinary. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner and resume the seminar. Santa Anita VIP player, host, and radio personality, Jeff Chappie Chapman, is Tom's guest this afternoon.
Welcome back. It's Pegasus World Cup Day at our sister track, Gulfstream Park. We're about 8 minutes away from kickoff of the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 there at Gulfstream, with estimated pool size of $4 million, carryover of $300,000 coming in. Certainly, it'll be anchored in the last race by the Pegasus World Cup $3 million main track event that we're all looking forward to watching and wagering on. But first things first, Chappie, we've got a lot of action here at Santa Anita as well, including a decent 9-race card, beginning in race number 1, which kicks off the 50-cent early pick 5. As you can see on the graphic, we are fast and firm in Arcadia, California today. The first race is on the turf course. The turf rails today are at 20 feet. We're sprinting 6 furlongs on the turf course for $25,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 races lifetime. The morning line favorite was number 5, Player B, at 9-5, but the current betting choice at even money is the old 9, who's taking blinkers off for trainer Jorge Paraban. Give us your thoughts on race 1, Chappie.
Yeah, I'm surprised the one's taking all kinds of money, although I think this race is fairly tough for a small field to kick things off. My top pick is the 4 here, Billy Joe Shaver. I think this horse with the blinkers on only had 2 chances on the turf, 1 for 2 on the turf. This horse should get a nice stalking trip. And I like the fact that Hector Berrios takes over. As we know, Hector Berrios is one of those guys that always kind of gets in the right spot. He should sit just off of the pace. He's very patient, and hopefully kicks home late and gets the victory at a decent price here, 4-1 right now.
You also like number 5, Player B, who I mentioned is a little chilly on the tote board at 3-1 right now. What do you like about Player B?
Yeah, you know what? I was just trying to find basically a horse that might hit the board. Obviously, Player B isn't big on winning, right? 2 wins, 6 seconds. But then again, this horse has hit the board in 8 of 14 starts on the Santa Anita turf. I like the fact that JJ Hernandez is back aboard, and this horse has speed as well. So I think placed forwardly, throw a line through that last one on the dirt, back on the turf. So I was 4-5 here. Nothing too outrageous in leg 1.
And take note, the jockey of number 1, the Old 9, who's the current even money choice, Kaz Kamur in the saddle. Kaz won our first 3 races yesterday here at Santa Anita Park. Race number 2, we're on the main track, 1 mile the distance. Also, race 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This race is for maiden claiming Calbred 3-year-olds in for a $20,000 tag. Take out both number 2 and 4. The morning line favorite likely to lower than 9-5 is number 3, One Step Beyond. Also from the Jorge Parabon barn, is Mr. Parabon going to get a early daily double here?
Well, you know what? I'm going to try to beat this horse. I mean, obviously, this horse might get away on an early, easy lead. This horse has a lot of speed, never gone 2 turns before. So I'm sure the message is to send here. My top choice here was the 5, Golden Chaser. This horse isn't very quick from the blocks. Did add Lasix and the blinkers last time. But you know what? I think this horse, Georgie Papadromo, we always talk about this. There's so many 3-4 trainers right now are on absolute fire, right?
Jeff Mullins, George Papadromo,
Yeah.
Doug O'Neill to a certain extent.
Doug O'Neill, yeah. There's one more I'm missing. I'll come up with it. But when Mark Glatt, when they win, they win in bunches. Georgie's been winning a lot of races. I think this horse should come rolling late. I mean, 2-1 in the morning line. I'm not getting, too crazy here, but I think this horse has got a chance. When another horse who's 0 for 8 lifetime, they're finally going 2 turns, I'll let that horse beat me at a short price.
And George Papadromo down in South Florida, he saddles Cabo Spirit in race number 12 on today's 13th race card at Gulfstream Park. Let's turn the page, Chappie. Take a look at race number 3 back on the turf course. This time 6.5 furlongs on the flat turf course. It's for starter optional claiming types, a field of 5. Number 4, A Day to Remember, returning off the layoff for trainer Mark Glatt, is the 9-5 morning line favorite. 5 ways you can go here. Which way you going and why?
Yeah, I'm a little chalk city on this one. I am picking A Day to Remember off the layoff here for Mark Glatt. I mean, he drops this horse into 50 for 50 tag. They spent a lot of money on this, but once again, this is a 5-year-old making his 6th lifetime start. So maybe that'll be a pause for cause. Maybe they think they can get away with one here without it getting claimed. And I always watch the works on First TV. The work on December 20th, and I know that's a couple works back, worked with a horse named Gas Me Up, who's 5 for 11 lifetime, just won a grade 2. And I thought the work was nice. So I think this horse is ready to roll off the bench first time for Glatt.
What about your second choice, Chappie, who is number 5, Burning Rubber, drawn right outside your top choice from the Sean McCarthy barn? We know in his last race on November 23rd, the winner, Crazy Cavalier, came back to win sprinting for trainer Doug O'Neill. That kind of flatters Burning Rubber's last attempt. Yeah,
I think so. I mean, drawn a nice outside post. This horse will probably send, but in case somebody else goes, I think this horse has options. This horse has sat before just off the lead. JJ Hernandez aboard. And, with the rails at 20 feet, maybe this horse will get a good trip. Like I said, pressing the pace right up on the lead. And a 2-1 makes sense to me.
Chappie, before I take a look at race number 4, a question for you, primarily because it's Saturday. And I know that every Saturday you provide racing fans with a chance to kind of experience racing behind the scenes. You take them to the backside, you bring them into the paddock, you bring them to the winner's circle enclosure. Tell everybody listening how they can get involved if that interests them.
Yeah, you can go to santaanita.com. Actually, it's called the Ultimate Fan Experience, and you can sign up for that. There are a limited number of people each week. We cut it off at 10 just because we want them to get the whole experience, right? So Iggy Puglisi, our man, takes them in the morning, takes them back, a little bit of a barn tour around the back, the barn backside, and he always stops to a trainer. And we get a trainer that likes to take some time. He'll bring a horse out, explain things about the horse, talk about the barn, and they really get an inside look. And after that, then Iggy will go by the receiving barn, explain that. Then he goes into the jockey's room.
Look at all the silks.
All the silks, kind of explain what goes on. If he's feeling good, Iggy's back isn't so good, but sometimes he'll get on the exercise horse and do a little, I don't think he's done that for like a month. So Iggy's kind of limping around right now.
Hopefully all the other jocks are dressed when you guys
that's way before that. But it really gives them, and Iggy, he's got stories galore, but it just really gets them an insight to something they can't see otherwise.
But that's just the warm-up for the races. They spend the whole day at the races, and you take them around the whole facility on the front side as well.
Correct. So basically, we get them sat down. This includes food as well, so they get to eat in the morning at Clocker's Quarter. Then they get to eat as well during the afternoon. Then I'll pick them up, take them down to the paddock in where the owners go. They get to meet a jockey, meet a trainer, something like that. We explain a few things more. Then we go down and watch a race right by the winner's circle as well. And we've never gotten, not only have we never gotten a complaint, but usually they tell us we should charge more than what we do. So it's gone over very well. I think we've been doing that for maybe 3-4 years now.
All of us collectively, not just in your job, but just all of us as horse players really should bring out a couple of people on a somewhat regular basis, because inevitably, and you experience this every Saturday, and I experience it a lot as well, people who don't know much about the racetrack absolutely fall in love with it. It's finding the time to come back, but they want to come back and they tell their friends about it. So it's like, it's a grassroots effort to try and build racing fans one person at a time.
Yeah, and you know what, as far as that grassroots efforts, sometimes, obviously, let's say on a Friday, traffic, everything else, we don't usually get the biggest crowds on Fridays now like we used to. Even on a Saturday and Sunday, if we're not busy, we've got people that do that. So we walk around, and if we have time, we try to find new fans. And it's not too hard to spot them normally. We'll just say, come along with us, and we'll take them to the paddock. We'll take them to watch a race. And a lot of times, and I got to give a lot of thanks to the trainers, the owners, and the jockeys, because they are so good with their time, taking pictures with them, allowing them in the winner's circle with the winning horse. We get them pictures to take home, because if somebody comes by themselves, like you said, they don't know any better. It's not easy to look at this, right?
What does a furlong mean? What does 9 to 2 mean? I mean, the list is endless. We speak our own language here.
Correct. So they'll end up coming out and saying, the mountains are beautiful, and I bet on a horse named Bob because my dog's uncle's name is, or my uncle's dog, whatever. Either way, is named Bob or whatever, and then they leave. So you gotta work hard, especially these days, to get people back.
And I want to give you and your staff a compliment, because I know the inside story. I believe it was last weekend where your crew was walking around on a Friday trying to find somebody that was relatively new to the game, and they actually stumbled into a person who wound up being an Instagram influencer.
Yes.
And had over 300,000 followers. So that's not bad free exposure, because suddenly you made that person a fan of the game as well.
Absolutely. And yesterday I found some people, I don't know if we have a second or not.
I do.
Found some people from, first of all, they were a dead giveaway. They all had shorts and T-shirts on. So I said, you can't be from here. So they were from Pennsylvania. They like to go to different tracks. So I took them everywhere. And they said, oh, my God, this is the best thing ever. Well, the one lady was in tears, so it was unbelievable. But if I can read something real quick, Beto sent me this last night. If we got 30 seconds.
Let's say who Beto is.
Beto works for Bob Baffert in the mornings, and then he works for us in the afternoon.
He's an exercise rider for Bob.
Exercise rider.
And then he's an ambassador in the afternoon.
Ambassador in the afternoons. He loves to get those new people. So this guy sent him this last night. I want to thank you. As a single father, it's challenging to always be your daughter's hero. Well, you, my friend, made me into their superheroes. We haven't stopped talking about taking everyone around, and what an amazing day we had. That Sunday, this is last Sunday, will be one of those days that we will tell our grandkids about, and thanks to all. May God love you and protect you and yours. Thank you for giving us a gift that will last lifetimes, for memories for a lifetime.
Unreal, right?
Yeah.
We all were there at one point. We were all first-time starters at the racetrack, right? I can remember it vividly. 13 years old at Arlington Park. I didn't know what was going on. You never know what's going to happen in terms of their life cycle, whether they become a racing fan and actually, pour it through the windows. I mean, that's really the goal, but we'll still take them as racing fans, because fans are just as important as handicappers and gamblers to some extent.
No doubt, no doubt.
That's a great text.
We learned when we were kids, right? So we were born into it, but most people now, they need more. It's gotten harder, and it's harder with the.
There's a lot of competition for people's time.
Absolutely.
The phone has changed everybody's life, right? Everything is instantaneous. When we were growing up and younger, that didn't exist.
You had to go.
So we had more free time.
Right.
Now, with just life is more difficult. And it's a luxury for people to be able to spend a day at the races. We're honored for each and every person that comes through the turnstile on a daily basis here at Santa Anita and supports our game through ADWs. And
real quick, if you see anybody, anybody that's coming out that's new, whatever, find us. We will take them around. Obviously, some Saturdays, things like that, we're busy. We will make time and give them passes to come back another time. We love doing that.
Call the main office. It's easy to remember. 626 is the area code, 574-RACE, race. 626-574-RACE. Ask for Jeff Chapman. We'll take care of anybody that you want to have taken care of. All right, Chappie, we need to take care of horse players who want to hit a winning bet, and we kick things off in race number 4, starting the $2 pick 6. We're sprinting 5.5 furlongs in the main track for fillies and mares. It's a starter allowance race. Field of 6, morning line favorite on the rail, who loves to win races. Auditory, 3-2 on the morning line. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite here?
Well, I mean, look, thumbs up. I actually picked this horse second. I went with the 3 Rousing Jewel at 7-2. Steve Knapp, although he's had 2 for 32 on the win end.
He won one yesterday. Give him credit.
He did. We'll call him 3 for 33 now. But he he puts them in good spots. He runs his horses. He's had some bad luck, but he's a damn good horseman. He's 24% off the claim and should get a good stalking trip. The 1 is clearly the horse to beat, right? Loves the track, 3 for 4 at the distance, 3 for 5 at Santa Anita. I just thought maybe with the rail and this horse closes a little bit, but maybe I'd try to beat that. If you were going to bet a horse just to win without odds, that's probably the horse I put on top. But we're always trying to get a little bit better odds, right? But I think Auditory is the one to beat, but has to work out a trip from the rail.
And if you like number 3, Rousing Jewel, like our seminar guest Jeff Chapman does, take a look at the past performances. Steve Knapp lost this mare 3 races back for $8,000 in her last effort. He reclaimed her for $10,000. So he's somewhat indirectly telling you that he likes her going forward. Race number 5 begins both the 50-cent late pick 5 as well as the $3 all turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. And we kick off both wagers in race number 5, traveling 1 1/8 miles on the turf course for maiden special weight 3-year-old fillies. A field of 6, number 4, Victorious Dream from the Michael McCarthy barn is the 2-1 morning line favorite. All 6 runners in here, I should say, are adding Lasix for the first time. Talk to us about race 5, Chappie.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could kind of go through this race and probably make a case for any of the 6. I landed on the 6. I mean, obviously, Phil D'Amato does very well with these horses that ship in, and Little Red Feather as well. My gosh, they have a lot of horses that come in. The one thing that made the difference for me is you and I watch a lot of those works on First TV. Back on, I believe it was January 19th, this horse worked in company with a horse named Church Lady, who's not much. So it wasn't really comparing, because I always look up the talent of the other horse they work with. But this horse on the Tapeta blew by in hand and just looked like this horse had a nice burst, looks like it has a good turn of foot. I'm sure this horse is probably going to sit back and make one quick run, and that's why I kind of gave the slight edge over the 4, the favorite, Victorious Dream, who ran a good race first time out on the turf. We can't compare dirt and turf, right? Because the 2 Island Home and Victorious Dream worked together last time. Victoria's Dream got the better of the two, but that's a dirt work for a turf race, so that doesn't mean much. But I'm just going by the past performances. Like you said, they all get Lasix. So Victoria's Dream would be my second play.
And if you're looking through the card today at San Anita, you'll notice Umberto Rispoli not riding here. That's because he's at Gulfstream Park riding. He will return to San Anita tomorrow. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're back sprinting 6.5 furlongs in the main track for fillies and mares. Starter optional claiming types. 2 scratches here. Take out both number 3 and 6. Leaves us with a field of 4. Number 4, Wish They All Could Be. First off the claim for trainer Ryan Hansen is the 6-5 morning line favorite. Again, likely to go lower with those 2 scratches. Talk to us about race 6, Chappie.
Yeah, Wish They All Could Be, obviously the horse to beat, right? And Ryan Hansen doesn't go to claim a whole lot, and that horse won nicely the last time. Another horse who loves Santa Anita. Any horse who's 10 for 30 loves to win races. That being said, I'm always trying to beat the chalk. I'm kind of hoping, we play these races out in our head. I think maybe with Emirates Affair drawing the rail, although we don't really think of Hector Berrios as a send rider. He 2 back, this horse went. I think there's a possibility if he goes and he's kind of got to go from the rail, that maybe he can sneak away on the front end. So I'm hoping maybe a gate to wire job on Emirates Affair. So I would 1-4 in here.
And Emirates Affair, as you look through her past performances, every time she's in a claiming race, she fires. It's when they raise her up in class that she struggles. So she's basically back in a starter optional claiming race. So it's somewhere in between.
Right.
But as Chappie mentioned, if Emirates Affair is able to command the early lead, she could be tough going wire to wire. Race number 7, again, 1 1/8 on the turf course. This time race 7 begins the $3 late pick 3, also with a reduced 15% takeout. Fillies and mares allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. Good field of 10 here. Lukewarm morning line favorite number 5, Willa T, who is disappointing in the graded stakes. Robert J. Frankel at 7-2 on the morning line this afternoon for trainer Tim Yakteen. I know you like a horse a lot in here, Chappie, because you only put 1 pick on the selection board for your selection in this race.
Hey, we got a single somewhere, right? That's our plan. I think Take a Breath, the 7 horse, is very talented in this race, and it's not the easiest race. This horse, you could make some excuses going back, had some troubled trips. And then obviously they throwed her into the deep end, and Glatt's pretty good about putting him in good spots. This horse has ran in 2 grade 1s and a grade 3. And if you go back and watch the replay the last time, which is going 1.25 miles, she tipped out, was far back, and made a very nice run, showed a nice turn of foot, and got right up close to the leaders, who are some very good horses. So I think, especially with Jaramillo taking control here, this horse might sit a little bit closer. You might not think that going back to 1 1/8 miles, but he's got that. He's been very good since he got here.
Aggressive, talented.
Yeah. Right.
Gaining quick acceptance with other trainers other than just Doug O'Neill, who got him a start.
Right. So I think maybe a little bit more mid-pack early, and I think she's got the best closing kick. If she works out a trip, I think she's the most talented horse in here.
Jeff Chapman, our seminar guest, taking a stand with number 7, Take a Breath. We turn the page, and it's our feature race on today's card. It is the La Cañada Stakes, a grade 3 event for fillies and mares, going 1 1/16 on the main track. Race 8 also begins the $5 late daily double with a reduced 15% takeout. We've got a field of 6, 3 of them trained by Bob Baffert, including the morning line favorite, going 2 turns on the main track for the first time. Number 4, Brilliantly, who's also adding blinkers, 7-5 on the morning line. Only 6 to choose from, but in many ways you could make a case for at least 5 of these 6.
No doubt. And if you think about it, last week and then again, I believe yesterday, there's been a couple small fields with Glatt winning at 8-1, upsetting the apple cart. And then yesterday, Polanco, I believe, right?
Correct.
Won at 9-1.
Beat Speedboat Beach in race number 5.
Absolutely. I did pick Brilliantly on top, but that is not a single for me. I'm going to use a few of them. I'll just mention a couple. And the reason I went with Brilliantly is, once again, watching a work last time out. This horse actually worked with Call Sign 7, who is in the Pegasus World Cup, and Endlessly, who's a talented horse as well for Michael McCarthy. I thought the work was very nice. Baffert adds the blinkers. This horse has got a ton of talent. My sneaky horse is on the outside, Jane Austen. Jane Austen ran very well early in the career. Then they went long. off of a long layoff. So that horse obviously needed the race. Then they tried a couple races on turf. So this horse is 2 for 3 at Santa Anita. Last time going 2 turns, this horse was kind of inside, broke slow, wasn't real comfortable, galloped out well. I think there's a lot of upside on a horse who might get lost in the shuffle and be a decent price. So, but like you said, there's more to this race than maybe 3-4 that people would see 9 to 5, and I'm sure Brilliantly will go off at odds on.
And Brilliantly, it's interesting they would name her that because certainly they had high expectations. They paid $500,000 for this daughter of Uncle Mo. I can tell you I saw her in the paddock in her comeback race in mid-November at Del Mar. She looked fantastic that particular afternoon. She didn't run very good, but that was her first race without blinkers. Now the blinkers go back on. And as mentioned previously, she's stretching out to 2 turns. I think she's going to fire big today. She's no cinch, but I do think she will run well. Race number 9 closes out today's card. Keep in mind we offer racing tomorrow, Sunday, 9 races, once again beginning at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. But first things first, in race number 9, 6 furlongs in the turf course for Calbred fillies and mares, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. Race 9 also offers $1 super high 5 wagering. Good field of 9. Morning line favorite number 4, Crystal Clean from the John Sadler barn, 3-1 on the morning line. I don't know who you like in this race, Chappie, but I do want to watch a workout for number 4, Crystal Clean, the morning line favorite. This workout was on the main track. It was a team drill back on January 11th. The first thing that jumps off the page, by the way, is Crystal Clean down on the inside. Is the workmate drawn right outside of her is the recently crowned Eclipse Award champion, Super Corridora, also from the John Sadler barn. So she's keeping good company in this work. A little bit later on the work, as we get closer to the top of the turn, we'll see Clubhouse Bride jump into the workout as well. So it'll be a 3-horse work as they come down the lane. But make no mistake, Super Corridor, as you can tell by the time, does get the best eventually of Crystal Clean. But the fact that John Sadler would put her in company with Super Corridor tells me that he thinks she has ability. They only paid $32,000 for her, but she's always been protected. She's a pretty talented Calbred daughter of Violence, and she's doing nothing wrong here, right? I mean, the time is legit. Her workmate is a champion. There's Clubhouse Bride on the outside, somewhat of a non-factor in this workout, but Super Corridor eventually blows right by. Again, the arm movement on both exercise riders is not overwhelming. Neither one is asking for either horse's best, certainly at this point in the workout. So I just thought that this was more than just a maintenance type of drill, Chappie. You watch a lot of workouts, but I think this is more than an acceptable workout for Crystal Clean.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this was good, and obviously keeping very good company. Super Corridor is going to come back in, I believe, a week or two. Did Super Corridor win the
She sure did the Eclipse Award. She sure did. Congratulations to West Point Thoroughbreds, trainer John Sadler, assistant trainer Juan Leyva. She deserved it after that Breeders' Cup win down at Del Mar.
100%. So, and this is on the turf as well. I think Crystal Clean, here's my, once again in my crazy head of mine, what I'm thinking is going to happen. Off the layoff, I think Fancy Facts obviously is going to send here, right? This horse has blazing speed. I think with Barrios, and they've shown it before, if Crystal Clean goes crazy fast, I think Crystal Clean can sit just off the pace and stalk and probably get it done here late. So I'm 4-6, but I could make a case for some other ones. Lamborghini interests me, Mendelssohn's Angels amongst more. So I think, to me, I'm 4-6, but I'm probably going to spread here when I'm alive to several in the pick 5.
Chappie, thank you so much for the time and insight on today's card, both here as well as the Pegasus World Cup race number 13 at Gulfstream Park. You do a yeoman's job trying to build the game one player, one fan at a time. So keep up the great work, and we'll do the seminar again sometime soon.
Appreciate it. Loved having you. Loved having you having me, and I can't wait to come back.
That sounds like a plan. Before we let you go, a couple of other wagers to keep in mind. The $1 Coast to Coast pick 5. No carryover today, but it does include races 10, 12, and 13 from Gulfstream Park. That's the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational, race 12, and the Pegasus World Cup on the main track is race 13 at Gulfstream Park. And then, of course, 2 races from Santa Anita. Also on the bottom, you see the $1 Sunset Pick 6, which is offered every Friday and Sunday. But today, we've got a 2-day carryover in that $1 Sunset Pick 6. Low minimum, low takeout, always pays well. You have to pick the winners in the last 3 races from Gulfstream Park, which obviously are quality races, and the last 3 races from Santa Anita. Expect that pool size to grow exponentially. Want to thank each and every one of you for watching the seminar today. Want to wish you nothing but the best of luck, both at our sister track, Gulfstream Park, on Pegasus World Cup Day, and of course, right here at the Great Race Place. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great afternoon, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, the turf is firm, and the rail on the turf today is out 20 feet. As you can see, we have a nice carryover in the Sunset 6, but first, let's acknowledge our great friends at John Deere, who bring you the track conditions every day. In the first, start of the early, pick 5, no scratches. In the second, scratch 2, Autism Unity, scratch 4, Matt's Advisor. There's no show wagering in race 2. In the third event, no scratches. The fourth starts to pick 6 on races 4 through 9. No changes. Fifth race, all turf pick 3 offered and late pick 5. Just one blinker note. Race 6, no show wagering. Scratch 3, don't you forget. Scratch 6, seize the image. In the 7th, start of the late pick 3. No changes. The 8th is the La Cañada. No scratches or jockey changes. $5 late double wagering offered. And in the 9th, we have super high 5 wagering and no changes. Enjoy your day here at Santa Anita Park. The Coast to Coast pick 5. Another tremendous payout yesterday. Today it starts with Gulfstream's 10th at 12:45. So we're 42 minutes away from the start of the Coast to Coast pick 5. 27 minutes to post for the opener here, which goes off at 12:30. Enjoy your day.